Welcome back.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Things are going well.
I mean, yeah, totally. You killed a bunch of the Duke's soldiers are dead. Everything's fine. It's all good.
That's totally what we set out to
almost as
do.
if killing people doesn't actually solve problems innately. It's almost like,
Go figure.
weird.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Duke is alone with the woodsman inside, and has just shouted for his guards. And I think the last of the remaining of the Duke's guards have come rushing into this room. So, in the room now is the Duke, the woodsman, and I guess like 6.
4 guards?
Yeah, like there's probably 6 because he's got some backup guys. They're dressed differently. They're wearing finery over their armor. They have like metal breastplates, and then like slashed doublets and stuff. But again, like everything else in this castle, they're like a little moth-eaten and kind of under disrepair. And they come in and they all have like halberds and immediately like form up around the Duke and like point their halberds at you, woodsman. And the Duke smugly from behind his wall of guards is like, kill that man. And they like take a step forward to like see if you're gonna fight back or just like let them stab you to death. What are you gonna do?
Okay, I sort of like exhale. I'm like, okay, I see we've got a misunderstanding here. To these guards, I'm addressing the guards.
Okay.
I just did your job better than any of you. Did you come in running and find a dead Duke here? Because I don't think you did. If you talk to your Duke for one more moment.
And the guards kind of like look at each other like, wait, you're supposed to be terrified of us. We have weapons and you don't, and we're going to stab you to death. I mean, you still kind of have the momentum. What do you say? What do you want to do?
Okay. So, look, Duke, and I turn to the Duke. I told you I'm an assassin. Okay, I've been square with you. I came into your parlor here, and I didn't kill you. And I even expressed that I have no intention of killing you. So why are you trying to kill me right now when I'm in the process of trying to save your life and you haven't even heard me out?
I think he's like scowling angrily until you say save his life, and then he's like, he puts his hand up to like his men. He's like, hold, men, hold a moment. But he doesn't step out from behind them. He's just like still like having this conversation over the shoulder of a slightly shorter man. And he says to you, he's like, you may have your life for now. Continue.
Look, you may as well, because if your guards right here kill me, my men out there are probably not going to let you live. So here's the thing. I told you I'm not going to kill you. My party, they don't feel the same way. One of them loves death. You may even know him as a baby killer, the baby killer, in fact.
Okay, so he pales when you say that, and the men are like, the rooster? What? And then like start like whispering to each other like, oh, oh no.
Oh my.
So baby killer, he's with me today, and I'm sure, unfortunately, he would like to kill you as well. And I thought I would head that off and do you a favor, because you've done nothing wrong to me. So as I was saying earlier, if you come with me, we can sort this out peaceably, and you will end up with your life. Whereas if you just kill me, you're gonna follow very shortly after. I'm almost certain.
Okay, I mean it sounds like you're trying to persuade him to just like give up. You can definitely use. I'm gonna let you use the rooster's reputation as advantage on this roll. So you get two extra dice for invoking the name of the bloodthirsty rooster.
Nice.
Okay.
Ask not for who the rooster tolls.
Is that a monster or?
Okay, so it's gonna be tough because the Duke has a fairly high will. So you're gonna roll the same thing you are rolling for persuade already. So it's will. It's your will.
Oh,
So you make a will roll.
persuade.
Yeah, just make a will roll. And the obstacle is gonna be. I'm sorry to do this to you. 8. Because it's 4 doubled.
Right. Good. Great.
But you have 2 extra dice for the rooster's advantage, the rooster's help there, and you have 1. I'll give you an extra advantage die for being so common sense about it and just being like, look, man, you're gonna get killed. He's afraid to die. So you got 3 extra dice there. Do you have any skills you want to fork in? Any other advantage you want to try and aim for?
I have. This isn't very soothing, is it? No, I guess
I don't know, man.
It's a little soothing. It's a little soothing.
You kind of like you can fork in soothing platitudes if you want, because you're kind of being like, it's okay, you don't have to die, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not like irate or anything.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, totally. Yeah, fork that in.
So okay, how do I add the extra dice?
So it'll ask you. It'll say modifiers. So you have 4 extra dice in this case.
Okay, and for forking in, I just add.
Yeah, it's 1 for each skill you're forking in with you.
Okay, so I'm just adding in the soothing platitudes. 4 extra dice.
Yeah, you have 4 total.
And obstacle 8, you said.
Yes, and what's before you roll? So you're just to make clear, your intent here is that he surrender peacefully.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Go for it. Well, I mean, you couldn't possibly have succeeded.
Can you imagine?
But you do get to mark. Well, I mean, hold on. Did you roll any 6s?
You did roll
you
8
got,
6.
You got 1. If you think you can re-roll it 4 times. Okay, so mark a challenging test for your will, because that's how that works. But no, he refuses. So I think he sees what happens is that he sees his men start to like get a little rattled, and he's like, he's like, you can't intimidate me, men, deal with this vagabond. And he like turns around and storms out because he's like, no, like fuck this, you fight him. I'm gonna go and be in my safe room. I'm out. And he turns with a sweep of his like rotting fur cloak and just like storms down the hallway as his men start to approach you with their halberds drawn, because you're not the rooster, so maybe they can at least kill you before he shows up. Meanwhile, speaking of the rooster, outside you are on your ass, rooster. What do you want to do?
I want to fight. We must fight.
I would like to come in
Okay.
because I know these men trust me from our prior incident.
Yeah. The lieutenant is like looking down at the rooster like, I put you down. What, you gonna get up? Is this gonna be a thing? And then
So
Agnes, you walk up.
I leap forward and I say, men, remember why we are here. Remember the cause. We are the 12. The idea is to come together, not to divide. And I'm like really flustered saying this because I'm like raising my voice and I'm uncomfortable with speaking out, but I was like passionate enough about this situation to do that. So my voice is kind of wavering a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So is there like some parallel here, like between what all the stuff like Basil just said? Like, are you kind of like taking inspiration from him, or is this like you being like, yeah, that's all highfalutin stuff, but like we're people
it's a little of both. It's definitely.
It's like, is it like a translation in a sense? Because that's what it sounds like to me. It's like, again, that's how you talk to peasants, but when you're talking to soldiers.
Yeah, I want them to understand what your point was.
Right.
In raising that speech.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I don't think this guy really wants to fight the rooster. And I don't think I'm gonna make you roll. I think that he looks at you, and as long as you're like, okay, we need to get focused, he nods. But then gives a look at Rooster like, if you ever fucking step to me again, it's not gonna go good for you. And he turns around and he imparts what you said, Agnes, like to the men. He's like, "All right, everybody, that's enough." And they like finish like pulling on stolen boots or like whatever, and turn to you, Agnes, to be like, "Well, what do we do now?"
We storm the castle.
Yeah, I mean it's not a castle in the like moat and drawbridge sense. Like the doors are right there. They're open because some like guys were just inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we just sail forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Head in.
All right. Does anybody help Rooster up off the ground, or does Rooster have to get himself up?
I'll give Rooster a hand up.
Do you accept it?
Need more context than just I'll give Rooster a hand.
Okay, describe Basil. Describe what you're doing.
I stand over Rooster's ruined body and reach down.
Hey, my body is not.
I didn't say it was ruined today. I just mean in
So
general.
overall, it's pretty ruined. Yeah.
I reach down and do like a quick gesture to like stand up. There isn't anything overly fraternal here besides the fact that I'm doing it at all. But it's like there's a pragmatism, like a quickness about it. Like, get up, we have to go.
Okay, yeah, that I'll deal with. That's fine.
Okay.
Pride is at an all-time low right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right, so Basil, you help him up.
Yeah. And then I kind of shout to everyone, move quick. The Duke will know.
Okay. All right. So with as much like military acumen as you as a group can muster, you rush into Graustadt, and the men split up to start searching the castle. And I think that like do you three stick together?
This is a stretch. I think this is going to be a stretch. Probably a stretch. Well, probably a stretch. I have estate management.
Okay.
Would that give me any insight into like where this dude would be hiding in his house, in his estate?
So I like that Andrew has played Burning Wheel before, but you are catching on to how this game works.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at the skill.
Like,
so
I think what it means is like, oh, you know how to order around the downstairs. Like you understand how to keep the book straight. But
Yeah, and like how many chickens you should have and shit.
Right.
Like I feel like if you had estate wise,
yeah,
Right.
or like
Yeah.
manor wise or something.
probably true.
yeah. So no, I don't think in
You
this
have
case
to-
it is.
You have to know where to keep your backup chickens for when you're hiding in
Sure.
your panic room. That's just.
Sure.
I don't think it's gonna.
Yeah, so you look around and no, you don't have like a familiarity of this type of an estate.
Of a place, right?
Yeah.
And I'm
I
not
mean,
really
I guess
so
what
much-
you're probably distracted because it's a poorly managed estate. Like you know,
Sure.
you immediately see places where like the wall has like a hole in it, or like you're like this is like a terrible layout. The windows need repairing. You can see all that shit right away, but you're not necessarily thinking in that direction.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, do you all stay together? If so, where do you go? I guess my thought is, and I want to know, like Agnes, what you do. You come in, and people start to split off, and you can already see that like on lots of like the sort of unused surfaces of the room, like it's a little like foyer. There's a couple of overstuffed chairs now long, like moth-eaten, but like on the table next to them, there's a stack of books, like half as tall again as you are, and then some spilled out on the floor. And like on some of the stairs, like leading up to the second floor, there's just like books piled along one side of the staircase. What do you want to do?
I go
I mean-
for the ones on the table.
Okay, so
So it's not a question of like, do you focus on the mission or not? It's just like
Yeah.
in what
Which books do I
specific
go for?
way.
Yeah, I love that Adam phrased that as in, are you going to keep paying attention to the thing you're supposed to be doing, or be distracted by something? And you read it as, which of the things are you going to be distracted?
Yeah. Because I'm definitely distracted.
Okay, awesome. Okay, all right. So you go over to the books on the table
I just read
and
the
start looking
binds.
through them. Okay, sure.
Like,
I mean,
what are they?
so we're in an era where I think that the printing press has not been developed yet. I think that it probably will within the next like 5 years, but we're still. So these are all handmade books. So the spines don't necessarily say anything, but like you open them and like someone wrote every letter on every page of these books.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Are you looking for anything in particular, or do you just get engrossed by the first book you pick up?
I flip through the first like 2 or 3 pages of each book because I'm interested in finding anything that has anything to do with the supernatural.
Ah, okay. All right. So you're gonna spend some time just like looking through the books for that in particular.
Yeah.
Okay.
Completely sidetracked.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, I think you're gonna have to roll something for that, like library wise or book wise, or I don't think you have those. But
I just have reading.
okay, yeah. So a read test then. How fast can you absorb information?
Okay.
Okay, so make a read test. Just the books like in this room, like to go through them quickly. We'll say Ob3.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
I seem to recall an instinct about never doing anything quickly.
oh yeah, fair.
That's true.
that's true.
Okay, so you're just like that's it. The Agnes Baker has checked out. It's book time.
Yeah. I just sit in a chair.
Yeah. So I think maybe I don't know how like just how busy Basil and the Rooster are, but yeah, Agnes, you're like I'll just look through one book, maybe two. I can't,
Yeah.
and then you realize you have too many books in your arms, so you sit down to put them in your lap,
Yeah.
and then that's it. You're not getting up. You're weighed down. So
Good.
Basil and the Rooster, what are you two doing?
I think I'm looking for a throne room.
Okay.
I think that's like where my instinct is. So like I guess what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the spaces that look like it's where the rich people go, right? Like I at the very least understand that, like, oh, this is the way towards this is like that's like the door someone who works in the kitchen goes through versus this is the way towards like bedrooms and where rich folk live. So I'm kind of just exploring the house and trying to find.
You're just gonna pick what you think is the most expedient route to where you think the Duke would be.
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
my gut. That's what I think Basil's gut is.
And I'm following Basil with my like still bloody sword drawn, and I'm just shouting like "Woodsman!" And like
That's a
as
good
I
plan.
fall, because I'm like, okay, I have to keep this idiot safe.
Yeah.
But while I'm at it, I am concerned about this other guy.
Okay. So you hear Woodsman, you hear Rooster, like there's some commotion in the other room, and you hear the Rooster shouting for you.
Okay. And I still have like guards around me.
Yeah, you have like a drink in one hand, and then guards like these like 6 guards with like halberds kind of like approaching, getting ready to back you in a corner to stab you to death, and then they're distracted by the shouts of like the Rooster, and they all kind of like turn to look.
Okay. I take a sip from my drink and I say, "That's that baby killer I told you about."
Okay. All right. So Basil, you there's basically there's 2 options. So you can you can go up to the, assuming that he doesn't have some kind of secret dungeon that he's like hiding in or escape tunnels or whatever. You can either go upstairs where the master bedroom and the library almost certainly are, or you can go you could go into the like main hall where he would take like guests, basically, like where the dining hall would be. And I know that you as a player, you know where the
I
Woodsman
know.
is.
Here's the
but-
thing. 1 to 3, upstairs.
You want to let the die of fate decide? Okay.
Going upstairs.
All right. So the baby killer's shouting gets quieter as the sounds of like booted footsteps head upstairs. And the guards that are menacing you, Woodsman, turn back and are like, "Well, your baby killer's not coming to save you now. What do you want to do?"
I'm sure he'll make it at some point. The question is whether or not you'd like your group to live.
I love that you're like here he comes, and it gets quieter and quieter. You're like, well, I mean, he'll be here eventually. Okay. So the guards they kind of like look at each other like, well, like fuck, the dude said we gotta kill this guy. It's one guy. Stop being so scared. And like they kind of like nudge each other, and then the guys in the back sort of give a shove, and then three dudes, rush you with pikes basically. So they're gonna try and subdue you. They're gonna try and hurt you so that you'll stop. You won't fight back. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna resist? Are you gonna try to run? You want to try to fight back?
Can I, let's see, as they're like rushing me, can I maybe use my observation skill to see if there's any kind of like, if there's like a, I don't know, like a silver tray or something like large and ornate that I can sort of like maybe grab off the wall or the cart or something and like put in front of me real quick in order to like.
Yeah, I don't think you have to make an observation roll to find it. Like you definitely like look nearby because you're still kind of near the bar because I don't imagine you drift too far from it. There's a big steel or lead or some combination of the two. There's a big plate, basically, like a serving plate. And you can reach and grab it and get it up in front of you and try to use that to defend yourself if you want.
Okay, well, so what about using observation or I don't know if I have to do that, but like, can I find some kind of vantage point in the room, like spatially? Is there like a counter?
First you have to deal with the halberds, and then if you get past that, then you'll have the chance to do other things.
So, yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be a versus test. You can use... I don't think you have any brawling or anything like that, so... Yeah, you'll have to use brawling untrained. So, hey, you can start to learn brawling. I'm going to roll for them. So the Duke's Guard. They're going to make a... These honor guard have halberd, but not at a very high level, but there are 3 of them. Okay, so they're going to make an attack on you. They've got 2 dice. They get an extra 2 because there's 2 of them helping. They all kind of rush you at once. And we'll just say base obstacle 1 because it's a versus test. Okay, so you need... Well, you're going to get poked. Because you're going to need 6 successes to be able to fend off all three of these guys. So, roll your... What's brawling based on?
Power.
On power? Okay, so roll your power. And I'll give you an advantage die for having the metal plate. So that'll help. And your obstacle is 6.
Okay, the advantage die is just 1, modifier 1. Is that what that means?
Yeah, modifier 1.
Obstacle 6.
3, 6. You got successes on all the dice you rolled, and hey, you can still, if you want to spend a point of Artha, you can roll both those 6s again.
I do want to do that.
Okay, all right. So mark off that point of Artha. Let's see if luck will carry you through. So in this case, just type /roll and then 2d6, and we'll do it manually. So you got 3 successes so far. Okay, all right, so you get 1 more 5. That only brings it up to 4. You would have needed both of them to be successes and 1 to be a 6. So I think that what happens is they lunge at you, kind of all, like, out of order. The first guy, like, you managed to grab the tray and get it in front of you, and the halberd and the spiky end of the axe goes through the plate, and you manage to twist it sideways and throw them aside, but the other 2 both stab you. And so you're going to take 2 wounds. Let me see what a mark hit for. There's a chance you might pass out, but it's fine. You don't care.
But it's fine.
Well, your life doesn't matter, right? Okay, so we'll just call these... These are just like regular quality, I guess, spears. Yeah, short spears. Pole arm thrust. There we go. Okay, so it's power 2. So these dudes deal you a...
oh boy. Does the woodsman have armor? I hope the woodsman have armor.
Yeah, are you wearing you're wearing leather armor? Okay, alright. Well, in that case, I'll give you... Roll 1 more die. Okay, alright. So your armor does not help you in this case. So the pike has a weapon power of 2. So you take 2 B5 wounds.
Oh boy.
So what that means is on your character sheet in the combat section, just click the 2 boxes under B5. Okay, which for you is a midi wound. So these are bad wounds. They hurt. You're basically at -4 dice to do anything.
Oh.
But that doesn't matter because you definitely have stats under 4 and you pass out immediately. Okay. So the first, desperate, like sudden burst of violence, they lunge at you. You manage to get the makeshift shield up, and then the other 2 stab you like in the ribs and in the thigh, and you immediately just like the pain just shoots through your body, and you collapse on the floor. Now you're a ways off from being at risk of death, but you're definitely unconscious. You've been stabbed multiple times. Okay, so meanwhile, upstairs, Rooster and Basil, you break into you like come rushing into the bedroom, right, the master bedroom, which is easy to find. Big double doors. You break in, and it's got, so the room, just at a glance, like looking at it around, it's got a big wash basin in one corner. It's got like a folding, like a dressing shield or whatever those are called. Mm-hmm. It's got a huge like 4-post bed. There's a rocking chair in one corner, and then you can feel wind blowing into the room from an open door out onto a balcony that overlooks the village. Or actually, I guess it looks away from the village. It overlooks the river and the woods.
Okay.
And it's just like wide open. Maybe one of the doors is like swinging slightly.
Can we see into that, or is that like off to the side wall where we can't actually?
Yeah, it's not straight ahead. It's off to one side. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna like cut the room, like cut the pie, as a Rainbow Six operative would say, and like do like the round out the room, so that I can like peek out that window and see if someone is there. Okay.
Like it has sort of gauzy like curtains that are like blowing into the room. And there's definitely like you can see somebody outside. There's a shape there of a person.
The Duke's name is Alon Duvall. Is that right?
Yeah.
I hold my sword out straight and I say, Alon Duvall, turn.
There's no response. The person outside like starts when they hear shouting, but they don't move or do anything.
I begin to walk forward and like to the right, so that, and then I say, Rooster, to their left, and like I want us to flank around the sides. Yeah.
I'm just like, who the fuck are you?
That also works.
You're like,
that also works.
Doing the hand signals, and he just storms straight forward.
I'm like, turn around. Who the fuck are you?
Okay, like you can just go out onto the balcony and like see them. Yeah, the doors are open.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So maybe the two of you come out onto the balcony.
Yeah, totally.
It's not like huge, but it's like quite large, like a semicircle. Kind of slightly above waist height banister, and the view is beautiful. Like the moon is illuminating the treetops, like the pine forest. You can see the river winding its way through the woods, and there's a woman standing there. She turns and she's holding like a baby, maybe like it's like held in her arms like a baby. It's like a bundle of cloth, and she's probably like, I don't know, like 25. Maybe at the outset, and she's like pale, and maybe to the like folk of this region, she would have been considered beautiful. But you can see like in her face, she's had like a pretty fucking hard time. Like she's like her eyes are like red rimmed, and her hair is like thin, and she looks at you with this like startled look, which is expected. And kind of like steps back, and like her like hips hit the banister, and she's like puts her hand out. She's like, "No, stay back."
I motion for Rooster to stay back.
I'm already leaving the room.
Okay.
I'm just like, I've turned around and I'm just walking back down the stairs and like shouting, "Woodsman!"
Okay. Find him. I point like I do like a
Yeah, I'm like,
Go.
this is not important. I don't give a crap about this person.
Okay. Well, let's follow Rooster out of the
Yeah.
room then. So Rooster, you come back outside, and what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna just like go room by room?
I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for like where some rich asshole would be, which is something I don't really understand very well.
Is that frustrating you? You're like, where are you, you rich asshole?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just like, don't they always go to the highest point to like lord it over people? Like,
You must be on the roof.
yeah, like I'm just like I was expecting.
They can't cross running water. They can't cross
Obvious.
water. They only come out when the moon is out. I think.
You can only kill them with silver weapons.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just like storming around, like not very systematically at all, because I'm just angry and like to a certain extent, I'm like also like just like fuck, like Woodsman's probably dead by now. Like
Sure. Okay. Well, the first. I mean, you're just gonna go into the nearest room, or are you gonna go like to a particular place? Like, do you have any idea?
what was like the 4 to 6 option when we were initially?
Oh, the main hall.
Yeah, so I think I'm just trying to get like central within the building, so I'd probably head that way.
Okay. All right. So you come back down the stairs, and Agnes is still sitting there reading and like going through these books.
Yeah, and like while I'm passing, I'm just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And just like I'm trying to like, "Woodsman!" And I like kick down a door and then like look inside, walk to the next door, and like I'm gone already. Like I don't stop to try to convince Agnes to do something. I'm just like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I keep reading.
I don't read, so I don't really.
You look up for a second as he storms by.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do the
Good.
thing where I like put my finger on where I am and then I glance up and then I just keep reading.
Awesome. Okay. So Rooster, you storm into the main hall, and you see two of these like guards holding the woodsman's unconscious body up, like they've just picked him up, and he's obviously been stabbed. There's like blood all over the front of him and like pooling on the stone floor. And the other one is like leaning on his halberd, kind of like looking at him like you get the impression coming into the room like fishermen who've just caught a big fish, where they're just like, yeah, and then you storm into the room.
Yeah, and I see this,
Yeah.
and then I just like have like an angry shout, and I'm like running at them.
So you just like and like charge them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right. So what's your intent here?
I want to rescue the woodsman.
Okay. So you want to seize him by force?
Well, I mean, so I'm running at them like maybe like you tell me what works best here. Like, is it that are they like, oh shit, and do they just like drop him and run? Am I being intimidating, or is it that
I
like they
mean,
try to put up a fight and then I have to fight them?
I think if you had burst in before they stabbed the woodsman, then they would have been more intimidated. But they're like, they're just humans. We stabbed him.
Cool.
The rooster's just a dude. He's only got one leg. We can fight this guy.
So we got one leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go. I'll fight them for the woodsman then.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna use your weapon skill. What weapon do you have?
I've got my sword again, so I will sword these guys.
Okay.
Do I hear this commotion? Am I close enough to hear what's happening?
Yes. You hear the rooster's battle crow.
Alright, so I think I just like disgruntledly slam my book shut. I put the book in my smock, like I don't put it back, I take it with me. And I
Like dog ear it and walk
Yeah.
out.
yeah, and I enter the room.
Okay. All right.
And
So
I-
you come in as Rooster is making the charge forward.
It's very slow.
Yeah.
Because I have to like I limp, like I'm hobbling over there. So I don't run really anywhere. Usually, like I'm angry. I'm like striding towards them very deliberately, but I'm not necessarily like charging because I can't.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of my problem.
So I see Woodsman on the floor, and I want to try to help him.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they'll
Are
drop
they
him.
Still like, yeah. Okay. So that's what I do. I run over to him.
And so, Adam, there's like this span of time while I'm crossing the room, and they both have pikes or halberds.
Yes. Yeah. They have halberds.
Okay, so I think Rooster just like drops his sword and pulls his spear out. Like he's always about having the right tool for the job in here. So I actually switch to a longer weapon. I have a huge disadvantage fighting them.
Okay, solid. So you're you're not gonna have the disadvantage because you're gonna fight with your spear. It's good. Good. I was totally gonna penalize you for that. So good work. Your Agnes is there, but not. You're not helping fight. You're gonna look after your fallen comrade.
Yeah, so I want to try to mend him.
Okay. All right.
I shove a pastry into his mouth as if it's gonna help, and then I have the mending skill, so I just start wrapping him.
I love how mending is for like mending objects, like sewing stuff back together. Yeah. But you can you can roll first aid or whatever untrained, but fork in mending because you're like stitching up a person's just like stitching up some clothes.
The irony is that I have the appropriate skill for this, and I'm not involved.
Yep.
I'm just doing whatever I can. I'm like wrapping him with fabric.
Totally. Okay, cool. Just before we continue, Andrew, do you mind trying muting your your audio for a second? Just because we're getting echo, and I think everybody else's headphones are. Let's try. Can you? It's coming mostly from Solden from your mic. Can you just try saying something?
Hello. Hi.
Oh no, we're still getting it. Okay. Well, we'll troubleshoot it later. It's not you.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
Okay. So let's take a crack at these bad guys. So Rooster, your intent here is to what? Kill all three of them?
I want to rescue the woodsman.
Okay. All right.
That is it's just about securing him. If I just drive them out of the room or whatever, that's fine.
Okay, sure. All right, so you're going to use your spear skill to rescue the woodsman from these guards. They're going to resist with their fighting. They want to keep hold of the moment of the situation, and they're going to fight you with their pikes. So I will roll halberd for them, and there's two of them. All right, there's your target number, my friend.
2? Cool. So I'm gonna roll spear. I'm gonna fork in soldier wise, and not really appropriate to use brawling, I imagine, given how this fight is going down. But I also have a shield. Does that help me in any way? I guess it will help me.
No, it would help if you were like resisting being hurt. If you being hurt was on the table, then it would be a thing, but it's not.
Cool. Okay, so then it'll just be spear plus soldier wise.
Yeah. Up to you. Can you do it?
Nope.
Okay, you cannot. Your success wasn't a 6, so yeah, you don't get the thing you wanted. So I think that before you get a chance to like Agnes to get to him, one of the guards, like 2 of the guards, hold Rooster at bay with their halberds, and the other one grabs the woodsman and like drops to one knee and grabs a knife and like holds it to his throat and is like looking at you, Rooster, and it's like, back off or I'll kill him. So let's jump. I want to jump back to Basil. So, Basil, there's this woman, and she's like holding this baby, and is like shouting at you to stay back. I mean, it's a perfect transition because the guard is like, stay back, and then we cut over, and she's just like, stay away from me.
I don't like how you laughed when you said she's holding this. You're like, she's holding this baby. Huh. I don't like that.
All right.
Going on record. Write it down. Who are you?
Objection noted.
Yeah. Who are you?
She kind of like looks at you like, well, I'm I'm the Duchess Grouchtat, of course. Who are you?
I'm Basil.
She kind of like looks at you up and down. What are you doing here, Basil?
The Duke Grouchstat's lands have been seized by the people. We will not do you harm.
Which people? Which people have seized my husband's lands? This is insane. I think you're a
all
madman.
Have seized your husband's lands. We will work out an affable solution, as we have with the other dukes and duchesses of the realm. I will not harm you, nor your child, but I need you to come with me.
She shakes her head. She's like, I won't go with you. I don't know who you are.
Wait. She probably. I have a reputation among nobility.
Okay. So you want to try and leverage
might,
that?
Yeah, she might know who I am.
Okay.
In fact, I have both a one die reputation that is the nobility, which I got from the lordship trait, and then the bastard twice, which is a 1d local, but that might only be local to like the city that we're focused on.
I think it's just local to the city, but you can use your like general nobility.
Yeah. Is that just a roll? Is that just like how does that?
I think in this case, it's a conspicuous roll, and you can throw in the extra dice from your.
Okay.
From your.
And so here I'm in the middle of learning conspicuous. So now I am. It's still double the ob. Is that right?
Her will is only 1 though, so it's it's ob 2.
Ob 2. And what? Wait, that seems wrong. What should my conspicuous be at?
What's it? Nothing, right? You're doing beginner's luck, so
nothing.
you're rolling will. Yeah.
But it's double. I got you. Okay.
Rolling will, fork in or like add in the advantage from your die trait.
From my okay, cool. And the ob was 2.
Yeah, obstacle 2. Nope.
wait. Why did it? Oh! I put in.
Oh, it doubled for you because it auto does that.
I still only got 1 success.
Yeah, you still failed, so it's okay.
So she's still like, who?
So mark the test towards conspicuous, and she's like, no, I know all the nobles in this land, and you're not among them. I don't trust you. I want my husband, and I think she starts shouting like for her husband. She's like, Elan, there's a stranger on the balcony.
Where is he? I'll find him for you. And I think I'm intimidating her now.
Okay, sure. You don't have to roll because I'm going to invoke the say yes or roll dice, and it's just say yes. You don't need to. She doesn't know. Like you detect a hint of panic in her voice, where she's like, "Why aren't you here protecting me from this ruffian?" And I think she's just like, you're like, "Where is he?" And she's like, "I'm sure he's on his way momentarily."
He'll be right here.
Yeah, you better not be here when he arrives.
It's just totally hollow.
It's like literally the opposite of the woodsman saying the rooster will be here any second.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. My husband will be here any moment. So back in the main room, the guards that were halberding you have sort of fallen back, but this one guard is using the woodsman as like leverage, and he's got this like knife to his unconscious body. And he's looking at you like, stay back.
I'm looking at the rooster. Wide-eyed.
What did the slave army training manual say about
crush, kill, destroy?
Probably that you disregard any kind of, or just it didn't have that, because who would take a slave hostage?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm really not sure how Rooster would handle this. I want to save the woodsman. So yeah, okay, you know what? I'll resort to talking to this guy. Beneath me, but here we go. So I'll just say, he's like holding him hostage. He's like, the fuck are you holding a knife to his throat for? What do you want? I'm not going to surrender or something.
And he's
like, you should be the one speaking terms.
You said that, and he's like, well, if you won't surrender, then I'll kill your friend. You just put your weapons down and back away.
Am I completely unconscious?
Yeah, you are out. Out as out gets.
And like Rooster just like leans on his spear like some kind of like, in like casual hick fashion, like just like, oh, this is great, like so casual, just like. But once he's dead, I have no reason not to kill you, and the reason that you're holding him hostage is so that I don't kill you.
You're just using logic to defeat him. Okay. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to intimidate him? Is that like, what do you want here? You want him to
I
put
want
the
him
knife
to just
down?
like. Now it's just like, look, okay, this is over. Stop being an asshole, and just like give up, and you can live, and he can live. We'll just all live, and that could be a way that this goes down. Or you kill him and then you die. So like maybe I'm intimidating him, or maybe it's persuade. It's kind of up to you in terms of how he.
It sounds more logical. I think it sounds like persuade.
Cool. I'm worse at that, so that's good.
Do you, Agnes? Agnes, do you want to help?
I don't know if I. I don't think I can.
Okay.
No, not really.
So you just watch the rooster try to do his thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm rolling persuade, which means I'm rolling will.
Okay.
I'm gonna fork in soldier wise.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's why we take these things. I also have survivor wise, which has been about which in my framing of it was about coming out of things alive.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, you can fork survivor wise in here because you're trying to help everybody survive.
Yeah, I'm just like, hey, we could all get out of and yeah, it's very much like when you go to war, sometimes you got to do shit to stay alive, and sometimes it's capitulating.
Sure.
Cool. What's my obstacle?
4.
Okay, I need to get a success on every die.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. So sorry, and when I'm inputting here, I do double the obstacle.
It depends on what you clicked. Did you click the learning the skill
I
one?
clicked the learning the skill
Okay,
one.
then don't. Just put in 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't try to outsmart the machine being smart.
Yeah. Holy shit!
Yes.
Wow. Logic bombed. Okay, cool.
And I think maybe there's this primal element of just hey, I have been through some shit like this. You just surrendering is the right thing to do right now.
All right.
As one grunt to another.
You get what you want. So he looks at you and you won't kill us if we let him go?
No, I'm not here to kill you.
So he kind of nods and he leans over and he's holding a steak knife or something, or that he found on the floor, and he just puts it down and lets the rooster's body, or lets the woodsman's body lie back on the floor, and he takes a step back, and it's just now you realize you're interacting with a person, not the Duke's guard.
Yeah.
And this guy is just okay.
And I'll be tell you what, friend, you want to make it out of here alive, you take off that tabard and you just walk out. Easy as that.
And he looks at the other guards. He looks at you. He looks at Agnes. Do you do anything?
Staring intently at him.
Okay.
That's my word.
Yeah, and I think that he's just okay, all right, and he pulls the tabard up over his head and throws it on the floor, and he's I never liked the Duke anyway, and he looks at the other two, and they're yeah, this is kind of bullshit, and they pull their tabards off and throw them on the ground.
And so then, as a follow-up, I'm oh, well, good. Where is he?
He the guy shakes his head and he's and you can see he's struggling with okay, they were trying to go, but now you're yeah, but also tell us where to kill this guy. Yeah, I think he's gonna need convincing. You're gonna need to get him to tell you, because you can tell he knows.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not super willing to say.
Yeah, so I think the case I'll make for this is just because he's been so good to you. I mean, here you are. This is what following the Duke is going to get you. It's more of this shit. So you walk out there, you can own your own land or do whatever the fuck you want. Because what I want to do, since I'm free, is kill that asshole. It's a good life. And I've like picked up my sword and put it away, and I'm just like walking towards them, assuming that they're like between me and the Duke.
Yeah, the Duke.
Like,
I mean,
not in a like confrontational way at this point. I'm just
Sure.
like, hey, pretty cool. Like, here I go, free man,
just
walking
gonna
on the
go do
ground.
what I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think they'll get out of your way and just let you keep exploring the castle if you want to, but they won't explicitly like guide you to the Duke or tell you where he's at, unless you want to make a roll.
Yeah, I mean, I'll make the roll.
Okay.
Easy to go to.
All right. So I mean, it sounds like you're persuading them.
Mm-hmm. Same obstacle?
Yeah. Yeah, their will is the same.
All right. This time I'm not going to have 4 dice. So
Yeah. Do you want to help, Agnes?
Can I?
Yeah. I mean, basically, Rooster is just trying to get what he wants from these guys. He wants them to like help end this quickly. And you're there. You're a presence in the room. You can say something encouraging, or you can like scowl at them meaningfully, or whatever.
I mean, I still have my knives out.
Yes, you do.
I'm still kind of like, I'm trying to menace them, basically.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're helping with your menacingness. So take your extra die, Andrew.
Ooh, just need to succeed on all of them. It's that easy.
You did it before.
Yeah, you did it
Yeah.
before. Did you? Not this time.
You got
Okay.
a 6.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to spend the
Yeah, I'll
alpha.
throw fate at it.
Okay, roll a d6. You're gonna need to get a 6 on this one. No.
Nope.
Okay.
Fate was not kind to me.
So, Mark, for helper, you were, I guess it's do you have intimidate or intimidation, Agnes? Okay. All right. So you were just helping with your will, and it would be like a routine test. So you don't get to mark anything for that one. They don't help you. They're just like, no, we're done. We're done. We just want out of the castle. And I think they just walk past you as you walk towards the door, and they leave.
Cool. Great.
Yeah, the woodsman is bleeding out on the floor, or will be soon. So Agnes, do you want to try to tend to him?
I do. I want to. Yeah.
Okay. So to tend a midi wound, you need one of the following skills: field dressing, bloodletting, apothecary, herbalism, surgery. A couple of skills you couldn't have because you're a human: child rearing or nursing. Do you have any of those skills?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Well, hold on. You have your own agenda. If Agnes needs help, she's got to ask you for it. So you've like, what's your medical experience with like helping hurt people, Agnes? Like, is this a thing you've done before? Like, it seemed like it. You kind of were like, oh, I can fix him, and that was your intent. Have you sewed people up before at all, or is it just like he's
No.
hurt and you need help?
Not at all. I mean, I
Okay.
sewed my baking smock together. You know,
Right.
I know how to stitch stuff.
So that initial rush was
My-
out of human compassion, not
Yeah,
like
it-
skill.
Completely out of like an instinctual, like, oh, there's blood falling out of a person, so I should wrap the
Keep it
blood
in
up.
him.
Do something
Yeah.
about it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what skill would you like to start working on? field dressing. I think field dressing or surgery probably.
What's the difference? Field dressing is just like wrapping people up.
Field dressing is faster and
Like tourniquets.
it's faster and easier to learn. Yeah, it's first aid. Surgery, once you have it, much easier to heal someone who has taken difficult wounds.
Okay. I guess I would say field dressing.
Okay.
Salad
All right.
dressing.
Salad dressing. All right. So that means that it's gonna go very badly, but whatever.
I mean,
Because you're untrained, but you'll get to you'll get to 4K. So what's anybody know what or have the skill thing handy where we can find out what field dressing is based on?
Oh yeah, I
Someone
can check
that.
Hold
Okay,
on.
thanks.
Field dressing is based on perception.
Okay, so you're gonna roll your perception. You can add in a die, so you have a die for for mending because you're literally sewing a hole closed. Do you want to ask for help?
Yeah, totally.
What does that look like? Like, describe how that. So you like get down and you see how
Well,
badly he's hurt,
I run
and then
over
what?
to him. I have like this sad little strap of fabric from my arm that I had tied around it, and I'm just like, like, like
And so,
looking
like,
up at Rooster with.
I'm
like,
hobbling past as you like run up and start doing this, and I like look down. Yeah. See, this directly puts two of my beliefs in conflict with each other. In that I really want to kill the Duke on one hand, and on the other, I'm supposed to rescue Colin's character.
Okay.
And this is difficult stuff.
Mhm.
This is going to be a very telling moment for Rooster.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, to take it out of my hands, Jess, if Agnes wants to be trying to convince Rooster to help, if you're like imploring me to help, that's one thing, because then there are rules for that too.
So I guess what happens, I mean, the question becomes, like, you look up at Rooster, and you can see Rooster torn between spilling Duke blood or helping you, and needs a push in one direction or the other.
Yeah, I hesitate, but my hand is like on my sword.
I'm not necessarily trying to convince you. I'm fairly frightened at the moment because the group is very important to me. I don't give a shit about the Duke.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just I probably am like, you know, a little teary-eyed and just looking up at you.
And it's all totally unintentional. It's not like you're trying to, like, please
Yeah,
help.
I just don't know what to do. So I'm like, I'm frustrated and I'm starting to cry a little bit.
So what does
And I
Rooster
look-
do?
And I look at the woodsman, and is it like, this dude is gonna die?
No. I mean, I'll talk about the mechanics. So a MIDI wound, if untreated by the end of the session, becomes the next level of wound. It becomes a severe wound. So
Ooh.
if she fails, he's gonna get worse before he gets better. But he won't die.
Yeah, I look down, and you look worried, and I think that Rooster just says, he's stronger than that. He'll be fine. And then I'm walking away, and I say, I'll be back. And I like draw my sword.
Okay. I just kneel. I'm kneeling there,
Okay.
watching you leave.
So yeah, you're alone with the woodsman and his like squirting stomach wound.
Yeah.
Right.
And let's go to break before you roll. It's gonna be a big roll, so
Okay.
we'll take a break here and we'll see if Agnes the baker can put our woodsman back together.
Oh my god.
So stick around, everybody.